West Hill United is a progressive spiritual community where how you live is more important than what you believe. West Hill United is a people, a place, an idea. We are a community living out of a progressive faith, striving to make a positive difference in our own lives, the lives of others, and the world. Join us Sundays at 10:30 a.m. or connect with us at any time.
Begin by Brendan Kennelly. Begin again to the summoning birds, to the sight of light at the window. Begin to the roar of morning traffic all along Pembroke Road. Every beginning is a promise, born in light and dying in dark. Determination and exaltation of springtime, flowering the way to work. Begin to the pageant of queuing girls, the arrogant loneliness of swans in the canal, bridges linking the past and future, old friends passing, though with us still. Begin to the loneliness that cannot end, since it perhaps is what makes us begin. Begin to wonder at unknown faces, at crying birds in the sudden rain, at branches stark in the willing sunlight, at seagulls foraging for bread, at couples sharing a sunny secret, alone together while making good. Though we live in a world that dreams of ending, that always seems about to give in, something that will not acknowledge conclusion, insists that we forever begin. Offered as wisdom for the journey, may we walk in its light.
May we walk in its light.
We are born to die. That is one guarantee we have in life. We know that eventually our organs will stop working and we will be dead. We'll be part of the flow of the universe, giving back to the ground whence we came. Whatever you believe that happens when we die, there can be no final answer. Even if you don't believe in near-death experiences and dismiss them, which is a reasonable stance, we still don't know what happens when we die. There have been no reports. No one has come back and told us. No one has had any experience, but it's a mystery. It's possible to live in that mystery, in that possibility. But of course, possibility means uncertainty, which can be uncomfortable. So I invite you to join with Mary Oliver in saying mysteries, yes. Because truly we live with mysteries too marvelous to be understood. How grass can be nourishing in the mouth of lambs. How rivers and stones are forever in allegiance with gravity, while we ourselves dream of rising. How two hands touch and the bonds will never be broken. How people come from delight or the scars of damage to the comfort of a poem. Let me keep my distance always from those who think they have the answers. And let me keep company always with those who say, look, and laugh in astonishment and bow their heads.
Because We Spill Not Only Milk by Nancy Schaefer. Because we spill not only milk, knocking it over with an elbow when we reach to wipe a small face, but also spill seed on soil we thought was fertile, but isn't, and also spill whole lives and only later see in fading light how much is gone and we hadn't intended it. Because we tear not only cloth, thinking to find a true edge and instead making only a hole, but also tear friendships when we grow, and whole mountainsides because we are so many, and we want to live right where black oaks lived, once very quietly and still. Because we forget not only what we are doing in the kitchen and have to go back to the room we were in before, remember why it was we left, but also forget entire lexicons of joy and how we lost ourselves for hours, yet all that time were clearly found and held. And also forget the hungry not at our table. Because we weep not only at jade plants caught in freeze and precious papers left in rain, but also at legs that no longer walk or never did, although from the outside they look like most others. And also weep at words said once as though they might be rearranged, but which, once loose, refuse to return, and we are helpless. Because we are imperfect and love so deeply, we will never have enough days. We need the gift of starting over, beginning again, just this constant good, this saving hope. Offered as wisdom for the journey. May we walk in its light.
Walk in its light.
We miss our friends. From one point of view, it doesn't matter what happens when we die, whether we face further oblivion or further adventures that await us is beside the point when we consider the loss of a loved one. Yes, they are not gone in some way because our souls are entangled, but we'll have no future experiences of them. We will never see them smile. We will never see them laugh or give them a hug or share a meal. We will never comfort them or be comforted by them. And it's okay to be sad. We have experienced loss. It's okay to lament, and it's good to lament in community, so that even as we mourn, we do so with the support of beloved community.
The Invitation by Araya. It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for, and if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. It doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love, for your dream, for the adventure of being alive. It doesn't interest me what planets are squaring your moon. I want to know if you have touched the center of your own sorrow, if you have been opened by life's betrayals or become shriveled and closed from fear of further pain. I want to know if you can sit with pain, mine or your own, without moving to hide it or fade it or fix it. I want to know if you can be with joy, mine or your own, if you can dance with wildness and let the ecstasy fill you to the tips of your fingers and toes, without cautioning us to be careful, to be realistic, to remember the limitations of being human. It doesn't interest me if the story you are telling me is true. I want to know if you can disappoint another to be true to yourself, if you can bear the accusation of betrayal and not betray your own soul, if you can be faithless and therefore trustworthy. I want to know if you can see beauty even when it is not pretty every day, and if you can source your own life from its presence. I want to know if you can live with failure, yours and mine. and still stand at the edge of the lake and shout to the silver of the moon, yes. It doesn't interest me to know where you live or how much money you have. I want to know if you can get up after the night of grief and despair, weary and bruised to the bone, and do what needs to be done to feed the children. It doesn't interest me who you know or how you came to be here. I want to know if you will stand in the center of the fire with me and not shrink back. It doesn't interest me where or what or with whom you've studied. I want to know what sustains you from the inside when all else falls away. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself and if you truly like the company you keep in the empty moments. Offered as wisdom for the journey. May we walk in its light.
We'll read the name of our celebrated lives. As we do so, we will light candles to reflect the light their lives poured into our lives and our community. We will read the names submitted, and we may not read every name, but through the tapestry of our souls, woven by entangled lives, every life will be celebrated. I invite Mel and Walt to come up and read the names.
Alan Ansell, Anne Avis, Christopher Barnard, Caroline Baker, Elizabeth Beer.
Mary Bennett, Harold Bennett, Janice Bennett Priding, Audrey Blakey, Fred Blakey.
Bill Blythe, Arthur Boone, Noella Boone, Cecilia Borthwick, Hazel Burton.
Richard Camage, Tony Chan, Raymond Charlotte, Carmen Chauvinard, Travis Clark, Dorothy Clark.
Dorothy Crawford, Wayne Crosley, Marion Cruikshank, Robert Cruikshank, Carolyn Cook.
Adele Daw, William Daw, Edward DeRosier, Maureen DePede, Vince DePede.
Marilyn Dickinson, Joy Duffield, Betty Dirty, Rhonda Ellis, Sterling Ellis.
Jim Irwin, Bill Fairburn, Cora Farrell, Siri Finch, Arthur Finch, Sandra Finch.
Margaret Freeland, Robert Freeland, Eleanor Galster, Iona Jennings, Stanley Jennings.
Betty Gill, Ted Gill, Rose Galvin, Christine Gleiser, Stephen Goodman, Doreen Goodman.
Art Gostick, Kay Gostick, Charles Gostick, Ruth Greaves, Bert Greaves, Kathy Greaves.
Jean Hamill, Arthur Henderson, Hans Haybrook, Bill Hockley, Ian Howes.
Margaret Hopkins, James Highland, Maureen Highland, Jim Irwin, Wayne Jackson.
Jim Jennings, Linda Johnson, Ricardo Knight, Yvonne Kilroy, Muriel Kramer, Arthur Kramer.
Margaret Lawrence, Vernon LePage, Vito Licio, Raymond Lloyd, Robert Lockhart.
Ron Lott, Memi Lynn, Tessa McCallum, Leonie Matavavsky, Isabel MacArthur.
Margaret McClure, Frank McClure, Dorothy McCormack, Harry McCormack, Jim Murison.
Tim Murray, Anne Neville, Kevin O'Keefe, Jose Oliveira, and Ted Petrokowski.
Gordon Ramsey, Ginny Ramsey, Lillian Ramsbottom, Paul Ramsbottom, Tommy Rankin.
Barry Reeton Thomas, Marion Reed, Bill Reese, Lee Reese, Terry Repole.
Marie Riel, Jean Riel, Roger Riel, Eileen Robb, and Frank Robb.
Anne Rothier, Art Russell, Ina Russell, Edwin Seidel.
Lily Sims, Ross Sims, Les Spurrier, Linda Strange, Hal Stewart.
Emily Trivers, George Vosper, Velma Vosper, Jean Warmington, Moira Whiteford.
Orville White, Elizabeth Wilt, Frederick Wilt, Carrie Warabess, Jane Wright.
Ernest Bernard, Kathy Ann Bernard, Sylvestine Bernard, Henry Johnson, Ram Sidhu, Jack Miller, Bob Dinnerman.
Become a sustaining champion of West Hill United's work by committing to an automatic monthly donation. Learn more or donate now through Canada Helps.